Always.
Well, we're live on my one. We've got Leslie, Imaginary Conflict.
I'm just getting spit. Oh, there we go. Now I'm live.
Yeah, mine took a while to come
Richard
through
Bradley
too.
and Brush and Quill.
Evening, gents.
That
took a hell of a long time to fire up. That did. Really weird.
Yeah. Starting again, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Everyone goes silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying hello on mine.
Yeah.
Leslie wants to know where my headset is. I don't have a headset.
Someone said sadly on mine they can hear us. You're on the wrong podcast.
Yes.
Oh.
No.
I'm making that up. Hi Leslie, hi
Leslie,
Graham, hi Rory. How you doing, mates?
Just taking my headset off, see if I can hear myself.
Evening.
Hayley's in my chat, so they can just have a chat with Hayley. So that's my chat taken care of.
That's that done with then. Good. Apparently I'm fine, thank you, Leslie. It's the closest thing you've said in ages.
Yeah, loud and clear on mine.
Good.
Robin Lou, hello.
I don't think I can hear you lot, actually, on mine.
Have you been fiddling with your audios again?
I don't think so.
Apparently you sound like you're in the bathroom.
Actually, yes, I have.
Leslie thinks you sound like you're in the bathroom, Martin.
Can people hear Ken on this on our streams?
Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah, I have fiddled with you.
Oh, here we go. This is so professional.
Sorry.
How many weeks have we been doing this and we still haven't managed to get one off properly?
Right. No, you should be golden now.
All right, if you say so. Oh, bloody hell. All good at this end, Graham says, so I guess that means everybody can hear everybody.
No, we're all good on mine as well. Yeah, we're good. I remember because I had to install another driver on my audio stuff. So that's all good. Everyone can see that. Let's get it really
Flipping
big.
smashing. Well done.
Awesome.
Right, done. Right. Good evening. Welcome to the Plastic Crap Podcast, episode 35. Oh my God, 35 weeks. Lovely to have you with us, and yeah, welcome. So to my right tonight, we've got Steve from On Point HQ. Above me, we've got Martin Seventh Son. He's doing some funky stuff with wood. And to my diagonal, we have Dom from Boots on the Table.
That sounds really, really wrong. He's doing something with his wood.
I've stumbled into the wrong podcast again.
I'm Ken from Miniature Wargaming Warriors.
Sure.
I think you should just ask Ken about his collection of tongue depressors.
Yes, I do have a rather large collection of tongue depressors.
It's at 5 minutes
Just
in, and we're already bloody down into the gutter already. I love it. Oh,
yes, we are. Yes. So yes, it's Monday night. It's Monday night, and it's a very enjoyable part of the week that I look forward to very much. So yeah, lovely to have you with us.
We've got someone saying good morning from Australia though, so
morning
as well.
Oh my goodness.
Good
day.
Osmodin, Amgen says hello. I'm not even
going to call you Bruce. I'm not even going to call you Bruce because that's very stereotypical.
I think you should be more worried about what it'll call you back.
Yeah, yes, I am.
That's probably true. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh dear. But yeah, no. Let's crack on then, guys. Do you want to start this week, Dom, with what you've been up to and what you're doing tonight?
I was trying to think, what have I been up to? I've been going crazy. Yeah, I've been going crazy again. I'm sorry. I do apologise in advance. I have been going mad. I have. I started off doing the. I think I mentioned this last week. I started off doing the core unit thing for Wargamers Anonymous November challenge, and I discovered 2 extra battalions of Portuguese I didn't realise that I had. Well, I knew I had one, but I didn't realise I had the other. So I ended up doing 3 of them. So I painted 3 of them up this last week or so. Finished off the first one.
He's a git, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just been... There's been a production line, to be honest. And in between that, I did some other... I did some English Civil War... English American War of Independence troops as well, which I've been staring at for ages, and I'm talking about, actually Leslie told me off on the video because I was talking about this wash that I did, and I said I only use commercial washes usually, and I But for these, I did actually use a wash that somebody was talking about on another video, and it worked really well. I was being slightly intimidated by red coats, even though I like playing them. It's just painting them just really puts me off the idea. So this wash is probably just purely psychological, because it's just like any other wash really, but it just seemed to work really nicely. So yeah, so lots of good stuff. I have a new project on planning stage, which I'm not going to talk about now. And I started another.
We can assure you, it isn't French. It isn't French.
I was going to say, is it another French, not French?
It's French-ish.
Not French.
It's French-ish.
French-ish.
Yeah, it is French-ish.
We'll leave it there.
So I'll talk about that.
We love
time.
a tease, don't we?
Yeah, there you go. Tease you with those, and it's not Napoleonics either. So there you go.
Oh, even more.
Dom, is it Asterix?
Bah! Bugger! You found out. I love Asterix, don't you? Do you know what? When I was a kid,
what is that?
When I was a kid, you don't know what Asterix is? Oh my!
Do you know what Asterix is?
Oh my god!
How old are you?
Oh, hang on. Is it that big Saxony guy?
Oh my god!
What?
Oh my god!
Asterix.
Yeah.
Oh.
An obelisk.
God.
Yeah, that thing.
Vital
Magic
statistics.
potion and
The
genetics.
And
No, never. No.
Ken, there's like 50 books.
how can you not know Asterix? Oh my god! I'm shocked.
This is a revelation. This is a revelation.
Oh no, they're already they're saying you should get kicked off the stream.
I actually agree with him on this.
Are you joking?
No, I don't. No, I thought it was that Saxony guy, the big guy with the funny trousers.
Well, it is. He's not
That's
Saxon,
Blue and
though,
white trousers.
but he's
Yeah.
Gallic. He's Gallic.
Yeah,
He's a Gallic fella.
yeah, that's it.
Yes. He used to
That's
get
about it. That's about as much as I know.
Oh my god, Ken. Your
Oh my
education is
God.
lacking. Yeah, Leslie says, where has he been? Quite right. I don't know. Just extraordinary. Yeah,
There's
you
been
know what?
films.
Funny
It's
story
Like,
about
great, but it's been films, it's been games.
I was born in '91.
doesn't matter. It was a film only recently, only a few years ago. It was a crap film, to be fair, but
Wasn't Gerard Depp?
he was.
Wasn't it Gerard Depardieu played Asterix?
It
yeah.
was. Yeah, was it Obelix he played, or was it Asterix or Obelix? I forget now.
Oh
There's
yeah,
been
no,
loads.
he did. Yeah, he played
Loads.
Obelix.
There's even like an Asterix version of Disneyland.
Oh, blimey. Unbelievable.
I think you might have just, like... You heard of Tintin, right?
Hey. yeah, I've had a Tintin. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me.
yeah, I've had a Tintin.
Oh my god.
Do you know,
Well, I know what you're
I think
getting.
you've broken, Martin.
I think Martin is shocked beyond to his core by that revelation.
Yeah, but you're all a bit. But you're all a bit older than me, aren't you? Mine's probably the closest.
Yeah, I know, but...
But
You know that. I know what Beano is. Does that help?
That's older.
that's
I know
a lot older.
I know what that is. I used to get the Dandy comics as well. I used to get them
Oh my
every
goodness.
week.
Well-
from Asda.
At least we know what to buy you for Christmas.
There we go. Oh my lord. Do you know what? A funny story about Obelix and Asterix. So when I was a kid, because I grew up with that and I loved those comics, or the books, they were so brilliant. When I was sent off to France by my parents to learn some French, something I singly managed not to do. I was obsessed with wild boar, and I really wanted to try wild boar because of Asterix. And so when I had it, it was like, oh, is that all it is? But I was expecting this great big joint, like they do in the books, where they come out with this platter, sort of steaming, massive, great thing of meat. And the people I was staying with brought out this wild boar because they knew that I was desperate to try it and wanted to have it. And he was a hunter, and he'd shot this with his buddies. And they all shared I don't know whether it still happens that way, but they sort of share the kill amongst themselves. And his missus had made this beautiful stew, absolutely gorgeous. And then he brought it out, and I don't know how old I was, probably about 14, something like that. And this stew came out, and my face must have just absolutely dropped because it wasn't that steaming platter of meat that there is in the books, and it's like, oh, I mean, it was very nice.
Out of curiosity, is this where your problem with French stuff started?
Probably because
you went to France.
My mum was a complete Francophile, absolute Francophile. So when we were kids, we used to have to speak French at the dinner table on Sunday for lunch, and we went to France for most of our holidays, and they had a house in France. And
it's all making sense now.
And there you go. So it's not entirely irrational. It's So
it's all coming together.
There we go. That's my story. Hey ho. So what have you been up to then, Steve?
Yeah. Yeah, the sidetrack is there we go.
Complete sidetrack already into this. What have you been up to, Steve?
French.
Leave it up there.
No, I've been working on those early war French. That's what I'm working on tonight. 5 more of my last 5 Senegalese for that section. So I did that last week. I made that base for my 75mm artillery piece. That was an enjoyable base to make. I did enjoy that. That was a lot of fun. What else did I do? French, and then some more Wild West Exodus. So that's all it was last week. That's about it. But tonight, more French. In fact, after this, I've got 1 infantry section to go, and that's the entire lot completed.
Very nice.
Oh, nice one, mate.
Very nice. Have you decided what your next bolt action project's going to be?
Should be good. I'm torn between starting another early war, or doing sort of start of Stalingrad Germans using the Blitzkrieg box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done that.
But saying that, I could just wait until the new British plastics come out, because I want to see what they look like first, because they look. I've not seen them, but I imagine they're going to look stupendously good. That's the way I see it anyway.
Nice.
Because I really want to do a British late war Normandy project, but I want to do it based on my local regiment, the Cheshires. So that's going to be who I'm going to be doing. The Cheshire Regiment in late war is going to be my British project.
Nice.
Okay.
I like it. Did you see, or anybody see that video? Sorry, carry on.
Well, carry on. That's all right.
Sorry, Steve. I was going to say, because it made me think that. Did anyone see that video that Warlords put up? Must have been earlier this week, or end of last week. Sorry, because it's early this week already. From what's his name, Stanyard, who runs the company, talking about his passion about the Pakistan-Indian conflict and how he games that using a lot of the models.
Right.
You see that?
Really?
I haven't seen that.
It's well worth a look.
He does not game some.
Yeah, I mean it was really obscure, but it really got me excited. I've not really been bothered about the Korea period for this, and I know people are chomping at the bit to do for them to do a bolt action Vietnam or something. But I thought this the Pakistan-Indian conflict would be perfect for modelling, because I mean he was basically talking about all the different troop. Because basically, as I understand, the Indians turned to Britain for their arms. So it means they were armed with Centurions and Shermans and that sort of thing. And the Pakistanis turned to the Americans. So they had all American things like Shafis and various other things, and Pershings and that sort of thing. So it was an opportunity to fight Pershings against Centurions. Plus, it was the early days of wire-guided missiles and recall-less rifles and all this kind of stuff in, kind of interesting terrain as well. I just thought it sounded really, really interesting. I thought that's really
that would be such a diverse mix of weaponry and vehicles and it'd be like a whole mishmash.
Yeah.
That's why I was really tempted to do a Chinese army.
That sounds like
because
you can dream. That does.
You can have, I know, you can have all kinds of just cool stuff in there, just sort of picked out from different nations.
Well, as he said, you
Yeah,
can
I
use
really,
a lot of the late war stuff. You can use a lot of the stuff from the Korean stuff they produced for the Americans. You can use late war British, and then you can put in some Sikh troops and that sort of thing. And then I think they've also got Centurions, haven't they, for the late war, for the Korean War British. So a lot of the vehicles are already there in their range. And the video, he shows a lot of the figures he's obviously using for it, and it just I'm just like, you know, when you look at it, you think that just looks so cool. And I actually put a comment on which they replied to, and so, you know, you think about doing a supplement, and he said not yet, we got other things first. But I just thought, cool, that looked really interesting, a period I've never thought about doing, but
yeah,
really interesting stuff.
I'm gonna have to check it out. That's piqued my interest. That's I don't know, that's just, it's something I've never thought about before. That's really quite interesting.
That's what got me, Steve, I have to say. I thought, wow, that's interesting. So, yeah, it was on YouTube this week. Let's have a look if you find
Got
their
more
channel.
bolt action projects, please.
Yeah. Yeah, it says Leslie says Tom Stannard's Asian Wars. Okay. Very interesting, but uses a lot of World War II kits. I think it was also the Vietnam stuff. Pershings, yeah. Pershings from their other range. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, good. Really interesting. Got me really excited.
Yeah, that's got me interested. That it really has.
Very cool.
Damn it!
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Dom. Yeah.
Sorry. What are you up to, Martin?
I haven't really done any painting other than starting these at the weekend. So I finished that pile of Dead French last week on the stream, and then I've been sticking together lots of English Civil War. There we go. Lots of.
You've been looking forward to that, haven't you?
I have been looking forward to this, actually. I really have. And to be fair, I mean, I did these on the stream the other day. That was an hour. And I'll probably get these finished tonight, so that's 10 of them. But I'm doing an extra large unit for the lifeguard. I don't know why. I was having a chat with Miller and with Paul Richardson, and Paul put the idea in my head of doing it as a large regiment. So I thought, yeah, that's what I want to do for my first one, is get every model that's in that box over there and make it one massive regiment. So it'll go on the table as a large unit in pike and shot, just like in a large unit in. Oh no, I tell a lie. I built up some old guard because I've decided to field my old guard as large units as well. Because all I've got to do is add 2 bases to each unit.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of creating a 3rd unit, I figured I'd just make them large because. Of course, you'll probably see the other thing that happened, and I've just been sitting here waiting for the comment to come, so might as well get it out of the way. Is I had a game, obviously.
How did that go, Martin? How did that go?
Well, really well till turn 5.
Oh, hang on, no, it was your best game ever. You routed the 95th.
That's very true. That's very true. I did route them in the last game. I was just in charge of them. That's the. Yes.
There's your problem.
Yeah. No, we had a game and it was really good. But I sat there and I sat and thought about it. I was like, why don't I just increase? I mean, the old guard have got pretty good statistics anyway. But if you make them into a large unit, they're going to go up to sort of a stamina 6, shoot 5. Melee 10 unit, so I was sort of that seems a bit of a no-brainer. Instead of just creating a third unit, just tacking another couple of bases on and make them a bit more.
They seem pretty unstoppable anyway. I mean, they had everything chucked at them in their last game, and they didn't fold.
They just need Hanoverians against them.
They just need Hanoverians again. I mean, like, the thing is, obviously, I know we talked about it, but yeah, the cavalry came down and smashed the cannons to pieces. I missed that turn. I rolled. I think we worked out about 12 dice in closing fire across the whole line infantry, and I missed every single shot of closing fire, every single one. cannons, the whole lot. But it was good. It was good. It was just nice to have a game. Again,
about the only person that is getting games in. See?
Yeah.
That's it. But no, other than that, not a great deal. I've not been very well today. If I have to dash off, then that's where I've gone. Because I've not been, I've been a bit unwell today. So that's where I'll be back, hopefully. But no, that's about it. I've got my Carthaginian commanders have turned up though, so I might, after I finish these 10, I might just sort him out. But he's a Gripping Beast one. Burn either. There he is. There's a nice little guy with a spear. Just to chuck on the base, but yeah.
Nice. Oh, better do mine, haven't we? So this week I've had a bit of an interesting one. I've been clearing off the old projects. Obviously, Naptober's finished, so the Napoleonics have gone away for now, or so I say. Because I'm looking at 24-old guards sitting in front of me in a minute, but they're never away. I really like that video I did. I love my intro to it, and I've gutted only 200 people have watched it so far because I love that intro on that. It was one person said they felt like so what's the word emotional after that intro. He said, "Please don't ever do that again."
I felt mildly sick.
Oh, I loved it. It's just how it started. It's just like awesomeness. I was like, oh, I've got to just to say goodbye. But yeah, no, I've finished that off. Obviously, I did my showcase vid, and I'm just on some US airborne at the minute. I'm going to do them a unit at a time. I've started painting these up. But yeah, no, enjoyable. I spent about 3 days putting these buggers together because I wanted to get rid of every mould line, and I did a bit of kit bashing with them as well, which was really nice.
Yeah.
I just thought
I've just got Ken. Sorry, yes. I'm just because sorry, I'm going to because Osmozzy, the Australian, said he's off to work, but he just wanted you to know he's not a Bruce, but his brother is.
That's fucking
sorry to interrupt, but I felt that was a service announcement that needed to be made.
Bruce. It is. Like, good day, Bruce, is all I'm going to say to your brother. Yes.
Oh, dear God.
But yes, that's classic. But where was I? That's just thrown me completely. The French.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that was it, the French. No, that's all right. And I also was giving, Laura was asking for my Christmas idea, and I basically went on the Perry's website and just linked basically their whole French metal Napoleonic range. Yeah, the French metal Napoleonics range, pretty much. I think I ended up sending her about 14 links. And then I sent her links on Victrix website for the Middle Guard. And then I sent her links on Warlord's website for French Army starter box set. I've sent her loads of links basically.
Did you then send her a link to a commission painter?
No. Sadly, I have to do it myself. Laura has said that. She did say that. She said, "If you shit." She didn't say that.
But... Oh shit.
Yeah.
So when if I buy these, you've got to paint them, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that, Mum. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'm just working on these American paratroopers at the minute. Quite excited. I'm doing this squad as a test squad just to make sure everything's how I want it to be, because I've already got some American paratroopers already, and they were commission painted. So it was really nice actually, because I asked the guy how he painted them, and he's sent me of how he's actually done them, so I can make them match in. Because I've got Dick Winters. I'm going for Holland, going for the M43 uniform and not the M42 for D-Day, just because I think these plastics suit the M43 a little bit better.
Ken, what colour are you going for the main uniform? What paint are you using?
US dark green from Vallejo.
Right.
I'm going to go for that, just because he's used it. But then I'm going to do some layering with some Iraqi sand as well. Would you suggest something else, Steve?
No, I'm just interested because there's there's always a debate about getting what colours to use for US Airborne.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare.
I remember there was one lengthy discussion on the Baltax Facebook group, and yeah, there's so many different variations and suggestions. So I always like to know what people are using, because
that'd be nice.
That would be because when I'm doing US Airborne in
Oh, Steve's gone.
Oh.
We shall never know.
Well, we will carry on with that conversation as soon as he's back. But I'll just fill it. Basically, I think what he's getting at is he's doing them in a different sort of theatre. I think he said Sicily, did he?
Yeah, I think that's what he was starting to say. Yeah. Interesting.
Because I did a video on the Normandy M42 style contrast one, but I'm really going to go to town on these. Like, I'm going to highlight everything.
Yeah.
And I'm going to layer everything. I'm just going to really go mad on it. What were you saying, Steve?
I was just saying that when I'm painting mine in 15mm, I'm using
15mm.
Vallejo khaki grey as the base uniform colour.
Depends what sort of period you're going for. Are you going for Normandy? Are you going for Holland? Or are you going for late war?
I'm just going generic late war. Nowhere specific, or not based around a specific engagement.
Because Normandy, they use the M42, which is like that browner sort of contrast video I did.
Yeah.
And later on, like Holland and that, they use the more green. They use the M43 patterned uniform, which is weird.
No, it's always interesting to find out what people are using for airborne uniforms, because, like I say, bit of a debate whenever anyone mentions it.
Yeah, I was going to ask on the Facebook group, and I thought I have seen that debate before, and I was a bit sceptical to ask. So I thought I'd just do a little bit more research. I thought, Jesus, I can't start it off in here as well. Started off the Napoleonic group. Everyone's going to think I'm just a fucking troll account or something.
Well,
yeah, it's true.
Well,
he doesn't know what Asterix is, so he's a bloody troll. That's for sure.
Oh, don't. I'm a bit. I'm not sure we can be friends. I'm quite. I mean, that's what I'm going to.
It's a cartoon. It's a fucking cartoon.
I know, but it's. Ken, we'll have to. The thing is, as well, I know what happened. We'll chat about this now for a few weeks. We'll get in it. He'll read it, and then he won't like it, and we'll just be doubly devastated. So it's probably just best to leave it.
I don't think I am going to like it, to be honest, because I think I played a video game on it, and I didn't really enjoy it.
Because a video game is always... Never mind, doesn't matter.
Love it.
Never mind. Should I just say hello to a few people? We've got quite a few people in here. So I say we've got Leslie, we've got Imaginary Conflicts, Brushing Quills here. I was chatting with him yesterday. Robin Lou, Damjan's here. Osmozzy was here, then he's gone. What's this? Old School FRP. Oh, he says that you can get old Asterix miniatures on eBay. Interesting. Who else have we got in here? Peter Little, hello mate, and Kovac Truth, Duncan FX, NI Miniatures, Miller, hello mate, Richard Bradley, and Owen Douglas, Matt Mayle. There's quite a few people here today, and Jim Reaper's just lurked. So quite a few.
I've got the Stoic Steve,
and they all hate you because you don't like Asterix.
There you go.
I don't like it. Don't know what it is.
He doesn't know what it is.
Doesn't know what it is.
Who have I got? Stoic Steve, Battle Knights, hi Jason. Leslie is here as well. Graham Fennell. Just scrolling through. Who we got here? Paul. Paul's here. Hi Paul, mate. How you doing? My great.
Yeah, Paul.
And Graham from Farnborough is here. Hi Graham. How you doing, mate? And yeah, Peter's here as well. Yeah, goodly numbers. Welcome all to the madness. And yet another
Leslie wants to know where Hayley is. She's in the living room. I think she's lurking in the chat somewhere. There we go.
Yeah. Oh my god. I have to say, I did watch that game you had with her the other night.
Yeah, I did as well.
And I thought it was hilarious. And I watched Hayley's usual great humour at sticking one over you was definitely wobbling at one point when her troops just refusing to move and do what she wanted. She did look like shit, and I had visions of that's it. That's the last game she's going to agree to play with you. But then everything turned around and normal service was resumed. She
wasn't happy with the fact that she just failed so many order checks right at the start.
Oh,
and Hannah, they just wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it, and that's why she just went. She went basically bugger it, charge, and then she pulled off all of those orders, including the Scots Greys coming down the hill. And I think she's probably using cavalry much better than we are, which is very simply you just hold them back and you say charge.
Yep.
Because I always move my cavalry around. I want to get them in position. No, just keep them back because they can move through friendly units. Just say charge. And they cover enough ground. I mean, we play at 2/3 distance, so we move cavalry at 15 inches. So you can go 45 inches on 3 moves and charge. Yeah. So you can launch that cavalry attack, and then that's it. Which I hadn't really thought of, but yeah, she.
I did see a bit of salt from her, mate. I did see a bit of salt.
It was there. It was there.
It was
definitely. I just heard what she was saying before. Huh?
I could taste it in the air. That was the clean edited version as well.
Yeah, I know. She.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, there was a less clean version, yes. But no, she it was a good game. We enjoyed it. But the thing is, I had some comments saying, "Oh, you should have done it so your reinforcements came on automatically." And the thing is, I would have done, but I kept on saying I wanted to bring them in online because I wanted them to come on and shoot. Mm-hmm. So if they stayed in a column, you get a free order. So they could have just marched on. But I was thought, how unlucky can I be? How can I roll 4 times, fail the order rolls? I wanted them to come in online. But, yeah, I know.
And you forgot the first turn.
The funny thing is about
you forgot the first turn to bring them in.
Yeah, I got that.
You did that with me as well. You did that with me as well.
I know. It's because I get excited and I get into it. I just get excited about it. But I'm not. It had gone so far. I was like, no, I'm not going to bring him in. That was my fault. That was my my error. So we'll play it out and see what occurs.
Boney wouldn't have fucked up like that.
Huh?
Boney wouldn't have fucked up like that.
I know. That's why I'm not in the military.
Hang on, what about the Battle of Waterloo with Grouchy going bouncing backwards and forwards between battlefields and never actually getting to one? So it did happen.
Yeah.
He was unwell that day.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Battle Knight says exactly what I thought about that battle. He said he's going to say he was pretty disappointed with the Greys on the old guard, considering they hit themselves in the flank. And the Greys got wiped out. I thought that was.
But they didn't, did they? Because they count as occupying a building when they're in a built-up area.
Oh, so that whole open area was a building. That makes more sense.
It was a built-up zone. So everything in there just counted as being built up. So they were just shoved in.
Right.
So everything in there, you could have 2 units occupying an area, but they just counted as like when you're in a building. So the whole unit occupies and has all facings.
But then you let cavalry charge into that, because cavalry can't normally go into buildings.
Well, no, but they can jump over a wall and a barricade.
Okay.
And it looked cool.
Oh, it did. I'm not knocking it at all. That's what confused me. But, that makes more sense, because I was thinking, surely, to goodness, the old guard getting hit in the flank by every cavalry charge.
I think they would have still won, though, to be fair, because the flank only gives them +1 bonus on the combat resolution, and I'd done 3 or 4 casualties to her, and she'd only done 1. So I don't think it would have made a lot of difference. She'd still been testing. And she did, and the thing is, she wasn't testing with any modifiers. She rolled 4 or under, and they just broke.
Right.
So I don't think even if they'd have done that, I think I would have still potentially. Although I think now, thinking back, I think I might have neglected to add the modifier for heavy cavalry. But we won't go over what might have been because it doesn't matter.
She's an earshot,
and she still won anyway. I love it. Intriguing. I think that does it.
I think I've slowly. Yeah, I think I'm slowly convincing Laura to have a game on my birthday. which is finally working. If lockdown stays as it is, then I think it might happen, which I'll be fucking shocked of.
When's your birthday?
January. Oh, the 8th of January, if you really want to know.
8th of January.
Go on.
2 weeks after Christmas, so I'll always remember it.
I was going to say, you remember your own birthday. Good move, mate. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. 2 weeks after Crimbo. So no, I know I always have to say the same thing every year. I always get stitched up because everyone has got no money.
or you get the famous double present.
Oh no! Someone done that to me once, and I said, and I laughed at him, and I said, no. And then, honestly, someone did that to me. When did they do that to me? It was like when I was like 22 or something. It was like one of my mates.
You were going to say like 7.
No. It's like he like took the piss, and he was like, oh no, I don't need to get anything. So he didn't get me anything, right?
Mm.
And then when it come around, because we'd always got stuff, each other stuff, and then when it come around to his birthday, I didn't get him anything. I said, it's double for Christmas, isn't it? And he thought he was generally disappointed, and his birthday was like in May. I was like, sorry, mate. Guess what? I got a present next year.
Funny that.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Give me that shit. But yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's not my fault. But yeah, no. Should we get on and crack on with some wargaming stuff?
Yes.
Should we talk about some wargaming stuff? We did ask the chat to say what they'd like us to talk about this week. Have we had any suggestions?
I think we still got a question from last week, haven't we, Dom?
Yeah, we have. Should we answer the question?
Yeah, we got Peter's little question of the week, which sadly we didn't get around to last week. So he was asking the question, which I thought was a really interesting one, was would you prefer, or do you prefer gaming on nicely modelled modular type terrain, you know, the ones with all the nice shapes and everything, or a gaming mat?
Terrain. Terrain every time.
Well, the nice modelly, swingy stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. 3D is better.
Yeah.
In my eyes. Yeah, definitely. I don't mind a gaming mat. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer 3D terrain every time.
Even though it's pretty limiting with what you can do with it, or can be.
It's not. You can. I get what you're saying, unless you make more, obviously. But yeah, no, I'd rather do it on that.
What about Mr.
Yeah, I'm a Ken. I agree. I'd rather have something really nice. I haven't got any modular terrain. I'm going to make. The plan next year is to make some. Not specifically Stalingrad, but Stalingrad light. So it could be any sort of ruined city. But I want to make it on 2x2 boards. But you can turn it around. You can fix them together. That's my plan. But yeah, I would rather play on modular boards rather than a mat.
You should have a look at Ste. You know those 1x1s that I've made up. The sci-fi from Terrifier. They make the Sally Forth make 2x2s of those.
Ooh.
So you obviously they're about this thick, and then you insert the you've got the framework and the magnets, and you insert the polystyrene into it, and then you can cut away because it keeps the sides dead straight. So they do 2x2s. So as well, might be worth.
The only thing that's putting me off on some of that is a complete lack of space. So I think I'd be sleeping in the bath once I start to make the sceneries.
I think my biggest problem with the whole thing with that is just, I think visually it's definitely nicest. It definitely looks good. But I worry a little bit about how regularly you can reuse it. I mean, actually, Leslie's just put in, how many times can you play Stalingrad in the Tractor Factory? And that's the kind of point. So, you got to swap it around a bit. And how easy is it to update it, modify it? you know, I think for the sort of demo game or a special club game or a show game, absolutely modular is just stunning. It looks brilliant. But for a sort of normal, you know, I don't know. I mean, I've got some of those big 2x2 styrofoam things which have various rivers and hills molded into them, and I'm even thinking about chucking them away now because I just find them. A, I never use them, and B, just when I do, the hill's in the wrong place or the river's in the wrong place, and it's like, Jesus, I'd much rather have it freestanding. You know what I mean? What about you, Martin?
Okay. I don't know. It's quite hard, isn't it? Because I mean, what do you consider what I do? Because I use a mat, but it's not like an all-terrain mat. It's more like a static grass mat. And then I put, you know, I have modular hills that I create, and then buildings that I move around. And I think that, you know, that sometimes that looks just as good and more realistic in some ways. Because it's flowing over 6 foot rather than stopping at 2 foot, which you have to do. You have to consider how roads are laid out. My big problem with modular, like the static ones, is roads. Yeah. That roads are permanent. That's something that bugs me.
Yeah.
But that being said, I've got quite a few ones that I've made. I've got a fantasy medieval grassland with ruins on that would do for any Lord of the Rings, fantasy, anything, any generic fantasy. I can play on that. I used I can't remember it, some type of bean to do cobbles. I stuck down loads of little beans to make cobblestones. It was hell. And then I've just done the sci-fi one, which, to be fair, is only going to get use in sci-fi and fantasy games, I suppose. Like, 'cause I made it a Red Earth game. I like having options. If again, it comes down to a lot of things in wargaming. If we have unlimited money and unlimited space and unlimited time, I would like a bespoke gaming board for every single game I play, and multiple battles. But you know, and I'm quite happy to. Yeah, for skirmish games, I'm quite happy. Bushido is only played on a 2x2, so I've made a Japanese-themed fantasy board for that, because it's only played on a 2x2. So fantasy Wild West, you know, my Dead Man's Hand, I've made a static board for that because it's only small. But big games, anything that you need like on a 4x6 or more, I'd probably just go with a mat or a high, you know, and just try and make it look as cool as I can.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, that's the sort of thing I think is if it's something small scale, like, you know, like you say, some of those Western scenes and what have you, that works really well. I agree with you. I think the table you use on a regular basis and just shift things around, you know, free flowing terrain, I think it can look just as good, and it's certainly a lot more flexible. But you know, really nice modular terrain is fabulous. Yeah, storage as well is the other problem with it. How do you keep it safe without being damaged?
Yeah.
You know, if you've got a permanent room or several rooms, you can set it up or store it in, then fabulous. But most people don't have that, to be honest.
But you need to finish it as well. Like I've stalled on my Stalingrad stuff, haven't I? My board build.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You know, you've got to have a lot of time to build that stuff.
Yeah. You have to persevere, don't you? Because you do hit, like with any project, you can hit a bit of a wall, and
this is it. And I'm sure.
I remember when I built all my, I built all of our jungle scenery in about 5 days, and it almost killed me. It was gluing cheap ass palm trees to CDs, and then covering them in mixed herbs. My work area smelled like an Italian restaurant. It was lovely, but it was time consuming and it was messy. But it was good. I got to recycle a bunch of old crap CDs as well. So, you know, win-win.
But have you guys seen that new? I don't know if this is why people have asked this, but there's a new Kickstarter, isn't there? And it's fold-out terrain, like a pop-up book. So you go like that, and the building in the middle of it just pops up.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't like it.
Yeah, but for people who haven't got space or you don't have the room, then it completely serves a purpose, doesn't it?
Is it part of the board, or it's not like the buildings I was showing from Mad Bob, where the buildings are flat?
No. It's literally like a board game. You open the board and the building pops up in the middle.
Oh wow!
It's called Up Zone or something like that.
I think
it's like a pop-up book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm longing for the day when you get a 6 foot wide book and you open it and there's a scale replica of Stalingrad inside it.
if they did that.
He's doing quite a few different oh shit, battle zones.
What's that?
He's doing quite a lot of shit. He won't sell well then.
I've just made an English Civil War guide. Never mind. It's I need to repaint his entire face.
What did you do? What colour did you paint him? What colour did you paint his face?
Flesh, but I was doing the highlights, and I've just fleshed his. He's now just a highlight. That's it. So I need to start again. There we go. Sorry.
Love it.
Got so engrossed in pop-up books.
Dear. So now you've anyway, Steve. Now you talk about the terrain and stuff, and not having any room for it. You're now just giving up with the terrain entirely and just build it all on the bases.
Yeah. Well, he's got board on the base. Yeah.
I mean, you got modular bases.
We're not going to use. Yeah, we're not going to use our gaming table anymore. So we're going to play on one of your bases tonight. Then, yeah, it's only 8 foot by 4 foot long. It's brilliant. No, there's no problems there.
Unbelievable. I think great terrain makes such a difference to the game, and I think when it looks good, but I do believe you can make terrain look really good without necessarily going the whole hog with the modular thing. Because although that is fantastic, it's just not practical for most of us, I don't think, unless you got a huge amount of space and opportunity. But I think that it's what I find really disappointing is when people make absolutely no effort with the terrain. When the I don't know, you guys, have you done sort of things like even friendly competitions where you rock up and literally someone's put a ribbon down the middle of the river to denote a river, and then a bit of brown river, which is the road, and a couple of hills that I don't know what they've been using them for, but and you think, oh fuck me, and I've just paid money to do this competition, and you've got your beautifully painted army, or reasonably well painted army you spent ages doing, and then this board just looks like some 12-year-olds put it together. In fact, that's insulting to 12-year-olds, but drives me insane.
Dom, that reminds me of that 40k tournament from a couple of years back.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's just those cardboard little fucking things and people pay.
It was just blocks of unpainted polystyrene on the table. And these people paid £40 a ticket to attend this thing. And then it was just unpainted polystyrene on tables. Everyone was like, "Yeah, that's crap, mate. What's going on here?"
That's weird. So, Kovac Truth says, "I don't want to sound too weird, but I'm taking you in the shower with me because I finished painting the base colours of my Hanoverians and I'm done for tonight."
Oh dear. I feel slightly
the first time that's
intrigued or mucky.
I'm privileged to be in the shower with you. I am privileged to be in that shower with you. I feel like you've let. I feel like you've let us into a part of your life that you shouldn't have done, and we feel privileged.
Oh my
god! I hope you're laughing.
Jesus.
Oh Jesus. Brush and Quill's got quite a good question. If we're all right to move on, I think it's quite good.
Yeah.
So, what do we consider to be the 5 essential builds for wargaming to do before you die? Maybe we can do that one collectively instead of each. Like, what five things would you want to work like?
As in periods, do you
projects
think?
or specific armies, I guess.
Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's got to be something like classic Napoleonics for one.
So one.
Yeah,
Napoleonic.
I was going to say that.
I mean, Waterloo period or Peninsular War. I would have thought those two. One of those two is an absolute tick box for most people.
As long as it's got a shako, it's fine.
Yeah, Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, even though the fairly interesting bit is the earlier period, but that's just not as doesn't look so good. I don't think. But my own interest, my own feeling. So that's been my first suggestion.
Greek mythology, like Greek. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
classical Greeks.
Ancient, some form of ancients.
Yeah, ancient Greeks and stuff like that. Yeah.
So Napoleonics, ancient. I mean, you could just go Napoleonics, ancients, medievals, like World War II, couldn't you? But
yeah, you got to be a bit more specific. Like for me, I would quite like to do like Troy. So,
that's a good one. That's an interesting one actually, because the Bronze Age stuff is starting to get a little bit more. I mean, Warlord have released an Age of Bronze.
Yeah. But like Troy,
haven't they?
But Troy to me would be. I think that'd be a nice little stepping stone into Ancients.
Yeah, that'd be
very cool actually.
Yeah.
You'd need a board for that. You would need a set board for that because you need Troy.
That's true.
So, but here's the question for you though. Are you going to do Troy as in realistic Troy, or are you going to do Troy like it is in the Iliad, which is with the gods like taking part and all the sea monsters and in the Odyssey and that taking part? What would you do? Would you introduce that fantasy element into it?
I don't know.
That would be really fun, wouldn't it? That. I was only thinking about doing Brad Pitt, but I think. I think that would be really entertaining.
Do you know what?
Mythology bit.
That's the only film I've ever been in a cinema where I've heard a crowd cheer and clap when a character has been battered. And it wasn't Brad Pitt. It was when Orlando Bloom got absolutely battered, and the cinema was going, yes, well done.
I really enjoyed that film. I know it was just a really entertaining film.
I think
you know,
and Sean Bean doesn't die.
Yeah,
no, he doesn't. Do you know another film that I really like that I keep watching?
Oh god, here we go.
Gettysburg.
I thought you could say something else then. All right.
No. I think American Civil War, even though we've had this debate, English Civil War, American Civil War. I don't know.
But Dom's back now. Dom's back this week. That's not this week, this time. When we had this debate last time, it was just me and you and ECW debate. So, but you lost on the comments as well. You won on the chat, but lost on the comments. Basically, Ken decided to try to split the community and put quite early on in the chat said ECW or ACW fight.
Ken's attempt at getting audience participation and causing them all to have a fight in the aisles. Lovely. Good job.
Well, no.
Well,
but it's obviously ACW.
Obviously, it's ECW.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is. Definitely is. No, I think...
Steve, if you had to pick... sorry. Oh.
He did. And he chose the right way.
No, I wasn't going to ask him that. I was trying to move on before it did. But clearly the answer is
ECW, fight.
Right. No, Steve, if you had, with the breadth of World War II and all of your projects, if you had to pick something in World War II that you would say is the absolute must for a war game to do, what would it be? Because clearly we've got to pick something for World War II, so you should probably pick it, seeing as that's your.
The defined World War II game, or I think
a must do.
There's so many good ones. I would probably say, given what I've been working on recently, Stalingrad. Even though I've not played Stalingrad yet, that's what I'm aiming for. I think a Stalingrad board, Germans, Russians, German allies, the whole just cityscape. I think
it's quite an even fight at that point, isn't it, as well?
Yes. But I think for thematic, they're going to be Stalingrad or... I don't know, there's so many to choose from. It's
It's tough.
It's really difficult. But I'm going to stick with Stalingrad. That for me is the one. Yeah.
So what have we got? We've got Napoleonic.
I don't know why.
Napoleonic, Ancients, Second World War.
Stalingrad.
So how about a curveball in
You've got to be
here?
a bit more specific about Ancients. No, you've got to be a bit more specific, though, of Ancients. I've still got my vote for Ancient Greece.
Well, I would go...
I'd say if you're going to do a project, I'd say Roman of some.
I was going to say something. You would probably have to do Roman
everyone
somewhere.
Does Roman, though.
Yeah, it's boring, but it's,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it would have to be, but that could be late Rome. I mean, again, it's quite hard, isn't it? Only 5.
I think maybe the Punic Wars. How about that? Hannibal against Rome.
Yeah,
I think that's a classic.
Yeah.
It's almost a bit of Greek in there as well because there's some Greek bits in there. I think that would be there. I think people in the chat are suggesting things like Middle Earth and fantasy as a must-do period.
I would argue that if you're going to do fantasy, do Middle Earth. I'd agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree. Middle Earth.
Yeah,
Middle Earth.
I'm not much of a fantasy
Huntington
player,
said Wars of the Roses, but
No.
I mean,
100 Years War,
I
because
think
it's the first one and it's the best.
The problem in the medieval period is there's so many wars, so many conflicts in such a small period of time. Because I think
it's basically one big war.
Yeah, basically. Because I'm the one that Dom's doing, Baron's War. I think looks cool, and the Wars of the Roses is good. And then you get on to you've got the 100 Years War, but then you've got these other conflicts as well because you've got the French Burgundian Wars. There's so many that we obviously look at the medieval period in England, but everything that was happening on the continent at the same time was mental. And then what about someone mentioned this on the other day. What about the Three Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the Chinese stuff?
Oh yeah, no, that's classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done that.
Then you got Shogun.
It's an amazing period.
You got like all the Shogun stuff. All the Japanese stuff as well, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. We're scratching that itch though, aren't we, Dom?
We are, mate. We are. We're definitely heading there. So how many days left on that Kickstarter, if anybody wants to dive in on it?
It finishes tomorrow. So he's well over his goal. I think he's made 5-6 times what he wanted to make.
Good stuff.
So he's completed all his stretch goals. And the final stretch goal, which I think has been hit now, is basically the community is going to vote on what he does next. So that's quite interesting. But it's been fully funded and ships in February. So
it's pretty quick, isn't it?
I'm really looking. I'm really looking for. All the masters I think are done. So he's just moulding out whatever he needs, and then the range goes on general release. But I was actually, because I was picking what I wanted, and I was actually just the sheer amount of terrain that you get as well is awesome.
That's one of the things that got me. I thought that makes it a lot easier. So for those who don't know, this is a Kickstarter for Samurais, basically 6 mil. It's sort of Bushido.
I got him.
It's fantastic.
6 mil.
6 mil. It does look really good, I have to say. I mean, I've never really done 6 mil before, and I'm kind of intrigued just because I haven't done 6 mil and I haven't really done Samurai period, so I'm kind of looking forward to it.
No.
Really looking forward
to it. The only Samurai I've ever done really is fantasy stuff. I painted up some stuff for that Test of Honor game, but they were really, I thought, fairly basic miniatures, and there wasn't really a lot to do with them. So I'm quite excited about painting up like cavalry and all that kind of stuff. I think that'd be really cool.
I agree.
I was going to jump on it with you guys. I really was, but I was just like, I've got so much to do at the minute. I've got 6 mil on the go, and I'm like, I was just like, do you know what I mean? I really wanted to.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
It's cool. Well, no, when you get it, Dom, I'll have to time it so we're trying to paint through it at the same time.
Yeah,
any problems you come across, I'll know, and then vice versa.
Yeah, we should do a little joint project on the go on that one for sure. Because you've gone for the Samurai Chief, haven't you?
Yeah, I did like the look of I do quite like the look of the Warrior Monks army that he's done though, which is a small elite force, and I quite like the idea of that. But then I think I've fallen into that trap quite a lot in games where I buy a small elite force as my starting army and just get trounced. Yeah. Because you want to add that on later. So yeah, I've just gone for the basic samurai army.
I mean, the thing about it,
it's got some monks in there, though.
It's cheap enough that you can probably if it's a good game and a good fun, you can just add in another kind of core army or bit of an army quite easily for not an awful lot of money in a year's time or something, or 6 months' time or whatever. If you play it enough, of course.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. It's something cool to look forward to in the new year.
Yeah, I agree.
Different view.
Here's a quick question. Just going back to the 5 things as a game you'd like to work on.
Oh yeah.
I'm not much of a sci-fi player.
Yeah.
So, if you had to play a sci-fi war game, would you prefer it to be completely out there, completely classic sci-fi, just the most lunatic stuff you can think of, or would you prefer it sort of near future, so not as way out?
I like mechs and things like that, so I like more of a near future-y kind of. Mm-hmm. You can see how our society, how these things could actually exist. I quite like that kind of feel to things, but that's my personal thing.
That's my preference. Is it's sort of a blend of modern military with elements of sci-fi. That would be my perfect sort of sci-fi game.
Complete 47.
Or just play Ariadne in Infinity. There you go. That faction is made for you.
Infinity's one that's intrigued me, but I've never played it. I've never had any time I try and get people interested, they go, ooh, no, and just don't want to play it.
Right, I have it. I have 2 armies, and as soon as you're allowed to come down, along with black powder and everything else.
It's going to be a bloody long week that week, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, when this shit happens, so we just book a week off work.
I was actually just thinking that. We'll just hire somewhere and book a week off.
Book a week off.
I can try to explain that. What did you do with your week off then, Steve? Long story, but you don't want to know.
No.
But it involved a lot of plastic crack and kebabs.
4 men in a church hall. That's all I'm going to say.
Changing my mind.
Lots of toys.
It's an interesting question though, trying to bring it back round, Steve. I quite like. Yeah, I think for me, because I don't know an awful lot of science fiction. I mean, the stuff that you have on telly and stuff. Obviously, I've watched and I loved all that sort of stuff. But I wouldn't class myself as a sci-fi nerd in any way at all.
No.
So I kind of agree. I like the fact that when I have played sci-fi type games, I want it to feel like there's something I can hold on to in terms of familiarity in some way. So being somewhere that sort of links even slightly to sort of modern world or the historical world, I kind of like. If it's really just completely out there, I've got no idea what's going on, and I kind of lose the track of everything. So I'm with you. I like that sort of. I don't know. The evil empire is obviously the evil Nazis, but just in a different form, green and with lasers. That kind of stuff. I think that to me makes sense. I get that.
Yeah. The First Order. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm either or, to be honest. I really like the story in 40k, and that's completely out there. Just don't like the prices and the company, but we won't start that again.
He's back at it again. You're gonna get a strike against our channels.
I'm never ever gonna get a sponsorship with Games Workshop. You watch. 5 years later, I end up working for him or something. That'd just be even funnier, wouldn't it? Complete career change, and then end up working for GW, and then I'll be like, yeah, they're so good.
So in here, some people have said, Miller says definitely ECW, just to throw that in. Anyway, Pegasus Bridge for World War Two.
I think that's
Red Cliffs.
cool.
That's Chinese, ancient Chinese, isn't it? That's the Free Kingdom stuff, I think. 100 Years' War or War of the Roses.
No.
Mongol. What about the Mongols? Mongol hordes in China.
I think
that's cool.
That's
a lot of cavalry, though.
I've always had a thing about the Mongols, and that's why I hope that Chappie with his samurai expands that range out and includes the Mongols, because that in 6mm would just be fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Bearable to paint 500 horses in 6mm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if he does Bronze Age in 6mm, that'd be pretty cool. If he does do Bronze Age, that would be pretty cool. Just big armies like that, like you'd imagine, just massive scales are just good in 6mm, aren't they?
What else is Russian Quill? Russian Quill said quite a bit. Infinity has really bad rules, apparently. I disagree with that, because I've had some cracking games of Infinity. It's very fast. The rulebook is massive, but most of it's not relevant unless you've got those skills. And then he said, "Can he join us if we go somewhere for a week?"
Well, I did say this, didn't I? I think when we do come out of all this, we should almost set up a little mini convention for all the whole sort of plastic crack community, or just to come down somewhere for a weekend, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
What, Plastic Crack Live?
And just, exactly.
On tour.
On tour. Plastic Crack on tour. Oh, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
You get like a tour T-shirt made with the cities on the back of it.
You could do like do you know like they used to do your own LAN parties for computers.
Yeah.
Bring your PC along and stuff like that, or just bring your terrain along, bring your armies along. We'd get everyone together, innit? That'd be quite a cool little thing, wouldn't it? Just come and set up.
I'll just bring those Napoleonics along. Yeah, that'll.
We'll turn up at the
How
Perry.
many could we actually muster between us? We could probably do quite a few.
We could turn up at the Perry's and just say we've come gaming, boys. There's only 50 of us.
Yeah, we've come gaming. We're doing it on a Monday night. Don't mind the camera.
Yeah, we're live. Just say 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Welcome to the.
Well, they did say we could go up there, so we just knock on the door one day and say, "Oh yeah, you invited us. We're here."
Do you know what? They're so nice. They probably just say, "Come in."
Yeah, probably would. Jesus. I had some suggestions. People came in with, Paul, I love this. He's gone for his 5. He's gone 7-year war, 9-year war, French War of Religion, Sumerian City Wars, and the Boer War. Actually, that's more than 5, mate. What's going on? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 5. Sorry, it is 5. There's some fairly specialist periods there. It's really in fact, I don't even... 9-year war. Which one's that one? What is that one? I remember 9-year war, 7-year war.
Was that one too? 9-year war is a war in Ireland, isn't it?
Oh my god!
9-year war is a war.
We've forgotten about the Crusades.
The 9-year war. I think the 9-year war is that time when I forgot my ex-girlfriend's birthday. That felt like a 9-year war.
I think you're right there.
Yeah, we've forgotten all the Crusades with like Saladin and all that sort of stuff.
Crusades would be really good too. Oh. But then which Crusade? There were about 9
Yeah.
Which one was the Children's Crusade? Because I mean, obviously that ended really badly. But which one was that?
That wouldn't be much fun gaming, would it? A whole load of kids walking down and getting slaughtered. No, I'm not sure. I can think of some kids.
I don't even think they got slaughtered. Didn't they all just get like captured and sold into slavery or die of disease and stuff? They didn't even make it. Didn't they go like get as far as northern Italy and that was about it?
Something like that. Yeah. Well, we've got a venue. Paul says he lives in Rugby, just about the centre of the country. Come to me and I'll sort out a village hall. There you go. Their venue is sorted.
Who's that?
Paul.
Sweet.
Painting
awesome.
shed.
There we go.
Paul.
Oh, good. I can bring my ECW to him, and he can help me out. I know he likes his ECW.
Oh, he says the 9-year war.
See all my based vehicles.
Oh, perfect. We'd love that.
Could have your own little exhibition, Steve, couldn't you?
He says the War of the League of Augsburg was also known as the War of the Grand Alliance. There you go. So that must be the 9-year war. Didn't know that. Did not know that. I'd be found out my historical knowledge. Anyway, yeah.
Steos is sorry.
Carry on.
I know Kovac Truth just said sci-fi wise he wouldn't manage dabbling in Judge Dredd. That's quite a...
I am the law.
Yeah.
I know what that is.
As a bit of a Judge Dredd Strontium Dog fan, that would definitely be my my area. I mean, because it is a bit. I've got the board game, but also the table. So I've got the Strontium Dog game from Warlord Games. What I like about Strontium Dog and Judge Dredd is that yes, it is out there, but it takes so much from sort of popular culture from the late 70s, early 80s. So there's lots of unique references in there, so it isn't just completely mad. It's quite clever the way it's done. So no, yeah, that's a good shout. That I agree with that.
Oh, RoboCop as well, man. I'd love to play RoboCop. That'd be cool. That was like a fucking miniatures game. RoboCop.
Do you know what I found out? Haley's never seen that a couple of weeks ago. I was disgusted, absolutely disgusted. Wow. And then because I then forced her to watch it. Well, I also found a orchestral version of the soundtrack being played in some kind of town hall.
It's like the best soundtrack ever.
Oh, it's amazing. It's the same guy that did. It's the same guy who did the soundtrack to Conan the Barbarian. So the old Animal Prom music. So Basil, I got somebody. I can't remember his second name.
What are you gonna say, Basil Brush?
Basil.
So you know who Basil Brush is? That's probably older than Asterix, isn't it?
Yeah, you still don't know Asterix. What the hell?
Yeah, I know Basil Brush. He's a legend there. I used to love Basil Brush.
Any moderns make the list? Any modern war games? I haven't really played any modern.
Well, I've talked about this.
I'd like to try. I do want to try Vietnam.
I'm going to say, would Vietnam get in there? For a lot of people, they love it, but it tends to be very. It seems to be very niche, that sort of thing. Modern war, I think. I don't know. I mean, maybe just the circle of appearance I've always had. They people who play that period don't seem to do much else, and they don't seem to switch between. You know, you get Napoleonic gamers who often play ancients and they play various other things, but modern gamers seem to stay largely modern from what I see. Maybe that's just the people I've always gamed with, but I don't know. I've never. In
all the years I've been gaming, I've only ever gamed one what you'd call modern warfare, and it was in the early 90s, and it was 15 mil. And it was sort of UN versus generic bad guy types.
Command and Conquer, basically.
But it was quite good.
Yeah.
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 It was
we're losing him again.
It was.
Oh.
Well, he's gone again.
It was.
Oh no. He's lingering on.
He's He's death throes. He's trying.
He's gone.
No, he's gone.
Oh no.
Let's all take a moment to think of Steve.
Yeah.
Kaiser's just turned up.
Evening,
Morning
Kaiser.
Advantage has just popped in, and Beckus as well. Hello, mate.
Beckus as well. How are you,
there's an Aussie. There's an Aussie.
Yeah, they said Team Yankee. There you go. There's the Cold War kind of. World War III.
Yeah, that's intriguing. Yeah. I've never ever played that. I saw actually, funny enough, Kaiser being on, he was playing a game of it a couple of weeks ago on his channel with Johnny B, which looked kind of fun. And then one of the last games we played at the Farnborough War Game Club before COVID, the table next to the one I was playing was playing a massive Team Yankee. Just seemed to be wall-to-wall vehicles just knocking each other out from, halfway across the table. And it kind of is intriguing, but I don't know. Never played it.
Team Yankee rulebook here somewhere signed. I got it at Salute a couple of years ago.
Little Legion's just joined. Hi, evening, Little Legion.
Hello, mate.
Evening.
Peter says, look at the, oh my god, I can't even, Grasmuk's solo wargaming blog for 6mm wargaming. Okay, interesting. I'm slightly intimidated by 6mm. I'm slightly nervous, Ken. I don't mind saying, because they're so friggin' small. How am I going to see them?
Oh, buzzing. I can't wait. I literally... Get some tongue depressors, Dom. You need tongue depressors. You need to have them sort of rolled out like that. They need to be like lined out like that, and you just literally go along. Hat, 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 hat.
But what detail's acceptable on a 6mm? What do you do? Do you have to do belts? Do you do...
Yeah, there's belts and that on there.
And eyes and stuff?
Yeah.
How do you see the bloody thing?
No, not eyes. You put a wash over it, obviously. Some people don't even do that, but I put a wash.
I'm going to have to get some just to practice before I get those samurais, so I know that I'm not going to screw them up completely.
Bacchus do sample packs, which are free. You just pay the postage.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, they haven't got any at the minute, though. That's the problem, because he keeps opening and closing his cart.
Yeah.
You can't order anything.
Bum. I might just buy some off eBay, see what happens.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't worry, there's always a 6mm commission painter that can help you out.
Who?
Ken. Me. I've done.
You haven't painted your own stuff.
Yeah, come on,
I painted 6mm. I did my Space Marines, didn't I? I did good detail on them.
You need to
meant your stuff that you got in the mini. When are you gonna have to, you can't even. I mean, when are you gonna have time? Not.
You just get a really, really long piece of wood, and he'll just do mine on top of his, and just go right down the end with the paper.
Just a little conveyor belt going past, just like leaves a brush there. Like.
You can get there's 28 men per battalion for these American Civil War, plus a row of skirmishers. So that is the whole battalion there on this stick, okay? And you can get 4 of them done probably about 2 hours at most. Completely done.
I can get battalion 24, 28mm done in 2 hours. What do I want to do?
Fuck off.
Near enough.
You can do that, mate. If you shut up, Dom.
If the
you
paint...
can't. No, you can't.
I tell you what, Ken. Majority of them were in greatcoats, and the only thing limiting me was drying time. You know, when I did those Portuguese Legion, because they were all in greatcoats, it literally took me can't be more than a couple of hours actual painting time to do that 24 figures. It's just so easy. Then.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't. If they're in greatcoats, it doesn't take very long. That last battalion I did was half greatcoats. They took me painting time for the whole all 24, 4 hours maybe for the whole
lot. Are you
lot.
contrasting them then, Dom?
Yeah, contrast paint largely.
See, with my Napoleonics, I've gone back to more traditional methods when it comes to painting. But I do use contrast on like the bottles and stuff like that, like pick out little details. But I've gone back to using like traditional methods for some reason. Maybe I need to stop that. But I quite like the detail I went to on my old guard because I was well happy with them. Really was. I don't know. Depends what everyone thinks, innit? It depends what everyone wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, my philosophy is getting the damn things on the table as quickly as possible is my philosophy, and looking as good as they can for that consideration. But for me, it just doesn't. It really, I don't know. It doesn't take that long to paint them, and greatcoats are just so damn easy. Just done. I think next time I do them, I've got another Cleve Berg to do, and I might actually they're fiddly because they're white. They make you have to do a bit of touching up and what have you. But I might actually time it, literally put a stopwatch on it, and see how much proper painting time it takes to do it. Because I'd genuinely be interested in that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It's like these American paratroopers. I could probably get these done really quick. Don't get me wrong, I could get these done very fast. But I am going to make this army like probably my best painted army I've ever done. Mm-hmm. I really am going to take my time with them over this month.
I remember when I was painting my US Marines, the quickest I ever painted, I painted a set of 12, and I painted. They were finished in 3 hours. So the quickest things I've ever painted. They were ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was just green, khaki, flesh, and then brown. Agrax wash, let it dry, basic highlights, done, and that was it. Yeah, so 12, a section of 12 was done in about 3.5 hours.
So I think my Japanese, I think, is similar.
For me.
Really quick to do. Japanese bolt action troops, just like a couple of colours on and a bit of flesh tone, and boom, done. Really easy.
Yeah, they're done. Yeah.
We haven't got very far on our top 5 though, have we? Come on. So 5 periods, must-do gaming periods. So we've got Napoleonics, we've got Second World War, we've got Ancients, probably Punic Wars, maybe.
Yeah.
We decided Modern doesn't make the grade. ECW doesn't make the grade. ACW doesn't make the grade. Or does it?
Medieval's too ranging for
Medieval,
it because
Medieval's great.
It's just too.
It's too many bits to it.
But there's too many. Like, which one do you do? There's no. I wouldn't say there's one medieval period that takes it. Apart from the War of Roses.
So would you do other periods of Ancients maybe? Because it is such a vast.
No, I was going to say what about Zulus, Rorke's Drift?
Colonial.
Yeah. Sound a bit different, isn't it?
Must-do period. Don't know. I think it's a fun period, but I don't know it's a must-do. Although I have to say,
it wasn't just must-do periods; it was just must-do projects. So it could include sci-fi as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
no, we had Middle-earth, didn't we, for fantasy?
That's right. We have fantasy Middle-earth. What about something like aviation or some sort of or ships or anything like? Are there any must-do?
Yeah.
Battle of Britain for aviation. If I was going to say,
there's a good shout coming from Little Legion, which I have to doff my cap to. The Dark Ages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a really good shout.
Do we mean what specifically are we talking when we say the Dark Ages?
Well, I mean that's part of the beauty. It's a bit like Ancients period, isn't it? I mean, but I guess something like Arthurian,
the Vikings,
that kind of thing, really.
Arthurian is cool.
We're being very Anglo-Saxon here as well, aren't we? We're focusing everything very much on.
We are British.
But we are British, so we kind of do that. But yeah, I think something like Arthurian would be a must-do.
When would the Aztec? When would the Aztecs have been?
The Aztecs were
1500s. So
1500s. Yeah.
So what sort of when is that based roughly?
Well, that's in the Renaissance, isn't it? That's where you have conquistadors and.
I wouldn't want to paint that shit. I know Leon has, but is that the Landsknecks or whatever they're called?
Similar, not entirely a different time. It's 15. The Landsknecks, because there are Landsknecks in. It's about 70, 80 years out, isn't it? Because there were Landsknecks at the Siege of Norwich, and then there were. I can't even think when the Aztecs. I'll have to look that up. That's going to annoy me.
Years ago, I managed to get hold of some 172nd plastic. I can't remember who made Italia or something. I can't remember who made them, but anyway, and they did a really nice couple of boxes of conquistadors, and then they did all the Aztecs. And we had a sort of homebrew in Dom's bunker back in the day. We used to have a sort of homebrew game that we ran using those rules, and it was great fun, really good fun. I used to enjoy it because you'd literally have, I don't know, about 20 conquistadors against 100 Aztecs, because conquistadors had armor and steel weapons and muskets and cavalry, and it was great fun. I've still got the figures somewhere. I must dig them out. They were really good fun to paint up. Actually, I really enjoyed doing them.
1521 was when the Spanish destroyed Tenochtitlan, which was obviously their capital city. So that is the Landsknecht period.
It is, yeah.
Because that's Henry VIII.
Yeah. You got another one here. You got like ancient Egypt.
New Kingdom stuff.
Yeah,
biblical.
You've got the pharaohs, haven't
interesting.
You? But then, biblical. But then you've also got the thing of where you could bring fantasy, like you would with the Greeks. You could bring all like the, the Egyptian gods into it all. So yeah, it's quite a lot, isn't there?
Let's see what biblical people have said in here. Crusades.
Crusades gets a lot of votes on here, definitely.
Yeah, Cold War. Modding for Advantage said the Roman Civil War. Just you can't figure out who you want the Romans to fight. They just fight each other.
Yeah. Always works.
What else we got here? Someone wants to know why you would besiege Norwich. It was in Kett's rebellion. Norfolk rising rebellion against Edward VI. Against all the Enclosure Act, and they won. They absolutely trounced the I think it was I can't remember which Earl was the first one to turn up. I think it was Northampton. He turned up and he got absolutely spanked by the rebels, who then nicked all his guns and all his arms, and then they sent the Earl of Warwick and his army, which had 2,000 angry Landsknechts who were just there for a laugh, and then they had a big battle on Mousehold Heath, which if you know Norwich or you've been there, it's a big heath on top of Norwich, and then there was a big old battle up there, and they slaughtered the rebels. And William Kett was strung up from the castle wall, thrown off the castle walls. There you go. Don't know why I went there. That's why they laid siege to Norwich. Sorry.
So no one would lay siege to Norwich, but yeah, that's why they did it. Yeah, there we go. Especially not in these times.
Leslie and Peter Leslie and Peter getting very excited in my chat about pirates. About pirates as a period you must do.
I keep looking at that Blood and Plunder game for pirates.
Blood and Plunder, yeah. Army mateys.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are the Assassin's Creed games done? They've done, because they're normally quite good at picking their periods, aren't they? So they've done Greek, haven't they? So they haven't done any Roman. Did they do Rome? Yeah, I think they did.
Don't know, mate.
No, I don't think they did.
No, they haven't done Rome. They've done Vikings, haven't they? They've just done Vikings.
That's the last one. I think because
they did War of Independence. What about the American Revolution?
American Revolution is a must-do period. I think that, yeah. I mean, I think that's an interesting.
It's quite a big stage in history, isn't it?
That if you expand that into maybe the French Indian Wars, I think that's an interesting period. I do think. Whoops, glue's not working. Yeah, I think that would get one of my votes. I really like that period. I think it's fascinating. A lot of interesting battles, some interesting units. Interesting technological developments in some form or another. Maybe not as big as some other periods, but yeah, I think it's an interesting one.
What about World War One?
That's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are there any decent games of World War One?
I've always looked. I know there's Beckus is painting up some World War One journals at the moment.
He is, yeah.
I think that's for Blood and Plunder or something be similar.
Blood and Valor.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the one.
Not the pirate game.
Pirate World War One game. Yeah, that's an interesting combination. I don't know. I know somebody had done some homebrew rules for bolt action in World War One. But it's probably because I mean it wasn't just trench warfare. I mean you've got the deserts and Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So there are. I mean, there probably is scope for a good World War One game, but is that going to appeal though? I mean, people. I mean, trench warfare as a war game. I don't know how interesting that would be.
Yeah, no, it can be quite.
It wouldn't be a tabletop game, would it? It's more of a strategy. Sort of massive board game, isn't it?
Classic Soldier Company make a sort of board game version of one.
I've always loved though the air war in the First World War. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Biplanes, yeah.
Yeah, well, again, sort of the speed of development of considering the war started with the Wright brothers had only just done their thing, and it started with people throwing, they didn't go up at all armed, into the air with any kind of offensive equipment, and then they started to drop sort of darts and bricks and things, and then single bombs, and then by the end of the war, you've got double machine guns firing through the propeller, and dogfights and mass bombing and all that kind of stuff going on. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Loved all that.
And Lord Flashheart from Blackadder.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Lord
Flashheart. Now I know who that is. Yes. Didn't he say woof a lot? Didn't he say woof a lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez. I think that's fascinating. I'd loved. Oh God, what was it? They used to get. What the models used to get for First World War planes. Oh, it was sort of card driven. I can't remember.
That thing in your
Wings of Glory.
Wings of Glory.
Wings of Glory. That was it. Yeah, the ones in my garage.
That's a good game.
You got some of them in your bunker. You got some. Yeah, I was gonna say they're in your bunker.
Yeah, I loved those. I've still got them, and I would love to get them back out and play. The only problem is that was a classic one where me and my mate Nick did that game. He had all the British and French, and I had all the German. So of course now he's up in Malvern, and I'm down here. The British are up there and the Germans are down here. Can't play any games anymore. But yeah, it was good fun.
That is a slight problem.
Yeah, I think there is some really interesting stuff in World War One, but I think it's tough to really. I mean, where does World War One start and stop? Because you could sort of push that into the Russian Civil War, 1919.
Yeah.
Because that's fascinating, and that's kind of like World War One on steroids. That is, because you've got cavalry, you've got armored trains, aircraft, tanks, guns, armored cars, and massed infantry and machine guns. I mean that's a fascinating period. It doesn't get anywhere near the sort of exposure it probably should do. I think is an interesting period, but I guess if you had a First World War, you could do into that.
So jumping forward a bit, what about the Spanish Civil War?
Yeah, that's something I've always wanted to game, but I thought that'd be quite cool as a skirmish game.
Yeah, true.
Like small operations and stuff. My friend, when we went to the Warlord Open Day, actually he asked Priestley and Stallard if they would consider it, and they just flat out said no. He said there's just not enough people interested in it.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it? It's a bit harsh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that whole thing. I mean, we did do some games at I can't remember, some show years ago now where they did. Actually, just Kaiser just mentioned it. German East Africa, First World War. I think that's an interesting, again, different sort of thing. And even the early Second World War in Africa is kind of very interesting. It's a bit more sort of basic. I think that's cool. I like those sort of systems. Anyway,
we've turned into a history lesson tonight.
It seems
it's
like
a good question.
It's a really good question, isn't it? A really good. Yeah, really good question.
Ooh, just a slight tangent. That film, April the 9th, about the invasion of Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck me.
Bloody brilliant film.
Really
I
good,
really enjoyed that. If you ever get a chance to watch it, it's just a good film. What I liked about it was that there was a complete air of desperation.
Yeah.
And we can't win this just over the entire film.
But there was pride in it.
Really well.
There was national pride as well.
Yeah, that was it. So it was they had to defend their country, but they knew. I mean that scene where they're set up, they've got light machine guns, and just like a a convoy of German armour just comes down the road. There's Panzer Ones and armoured cars, and you just think that's what they're up against.
222s
but no, it's a really, really good film.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll have to check
Well,
that one out.
They take out the one of the
isn't it?
222s, and they get think, oh great, we're doing something, and then this Panzer One comes through, and they just can't do a thing to it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my god! It's like if you're wargaming, someone brings out a Panzer One. Rarely do anybody just do anything other than just go, oh, that's a light tank, isn't it? Or just laugh at it. But in that, it was absolutely terrifying to them. They had nothing to do with it.
Couldn't take it out.
Couldn't do a thing.
And then you saw the motorbikes with the anti-tank guns on it.
Yeah.
The anti-tank rifles,
so
I should say.
cool.
Very cool.
I was like, that is pretty cool. And I was just like, but it just, the whole point is when they all got alerted and they got the motorcycle company went off and went to the front line, and then they all got on their fucking push bikes, and I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What's the name of the film again?
9th of April. And then there's 9th of April. Then they did another film that I watched about the Estonians, that one, Dom, that you said.
Yeah, that's a cracker. 1944, Forced to Fight or something.
Yeah, Forced to Fight. And then you've got I watched another one which was Finns.
Yeah, that's a goodie as well. Yeah,
Finns.
Really good.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one when they had some Stugs.
Yeah.
And taking out T-34s by the mother load.
Yeah, that's a cracker.
Oh, that film that I sent the title of to you guys last week, I wouldn't recommend it at all. I mean, if you want a good laugh, have a watch of it. But I only watched it because it got 1.5 stars out of 5, and I thought, well, this has got to be some kind of film, hasn't it? So I checked all the reviews, and people were like, don't watch this film, don't waste your time. So I just skipped forward, to certain scenes, and I had to switch it off. It was one of the most diabolical pieces of crap I've ever sat through.
Yeah, never again.
There's some animated one on Netflix at the minute, isn't there? Series, a World War II series.
Oh,
it's like
Liberator.
rotoscope. Is that? Yeah. Yes. It's like rotoscoped, isn't it? Looks like they've just drawn over film.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, I think there was a discussion in the Baltaxan group about it. I think there was people that liked it and some people.
Divide and conquer.
I must admit, I did. I was quite smitten by that Danish one. I thought, I did start looking at Second World War Danish figures to see whether it was something. I thought, no, don't be stupid.
The first thing I did after that film ended, I got my the army book out and started looking through the Danish list.
Yeah.
I sort of knew you would, Steve. I knew you would. Yeah, it's that's a real.
Ken was right when he said after. So when Ken said after he watched the 1944 Forced to Fight, they would be two very, very interesting armies to build.
Yeah.
So the Estonians and the Soviet army, and also Estonian SS. That would be an interesting hobby project. That.
Yeah.
I can feel that I might be doing that one, Steve. I've got a real hankering after doing that. I've just ordered a couple of the Osprey books to sort of get it right, but I think I might turn my Winter Germans into SS. That being SS. Which reminds me, if anybody wants any Osprey books at the moment, they have got a Black Friday sale going on at the moment. I think a lot of their books are up to 30%, up to 50% off. So if there's anything
come on, Warlords, get on it. Where's that sprue sale?
It's not going to happen, mate.
I don't think it's going to happen this year. I really don't. They're making too much money without it, Ken.
I hope it happens on the Black Friday day. I'll be gutted if it doesn't.
So, is there any decent Black Friday sales going on? The only one I've seen is Footsore have got one, but you have to spend like £100 to get a small amount off.
Not really.
I saw the Elite have got that.
Doing 10% off, you know.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal. No, I think if you buy 5 battalions, you get the 5th one half price or something like that.
Yeah, but that's 5 battalions.
Exactly, it's still a lot of money to pay out. Exactly, that's what I mean. I haven't seen anything. I mean, Warlords have got subs. Well, they call it Black Friday, but it just seems to be anything they want to clear out their warehouse going on. So it wasn't particularly brilliant. So I don't know, but no, I haven't seen much at all this year so far. I mean, I know it's still another week, but
Don't even start. They can't even use COVID as an excuse because they've all done so fucking well. They can't use COVID. we haven't got any money because the Perrys have put that to bed and said no, we've been as busy as we've ever been.
Yeah.
So
no,
don't say that you are not making any money because we know you are. So don't lie. Just do it for straight sale.
Becca says the book depository Osprey are always 50% off at the book depository.
Oh, okay.
Wherever that is.
Right.
Ranger Miniatures has said, do we have Black Friday in Great Britain? Yes, we do. I know you're over in the States, aren't you? So, yeah.
And Cyber Monday.
And it is now. It's here as well.
It's been here for years.
It's another thing we have to thank you bloody Yankees for. Coming over here, spreading your Black Fridays.
Except for our deals weren't so good. They're not so good, the deals, though.
No, they're
That's
crap.
where I get my annual coffee machine from. And then within a year it's broken and I wait till Black Friday to get the replacement.
Love it. Yeah.
Wayne Broadhead says at Dyson Decks they've got 30% off everything. I've never heard of that. So
Dyson Decks. Oh, no, I did see something about them.
Yeah, someone. Dyson Decks.
Did I tell you about them? I think I might have done on the chat. I can't remember.
I think you might have done, yeah.
When I see things, I just like annoying Ken by telling him about the discount because then he's told Laura he's not spending any more money.
Yeah, I know, it's not nice.
Apparently, Triumph.
I don't know about. I spent nearly 120 quid because of you, Dom. I bought that bloody gaming mat, and then I bought a whole more. I'll finish my ancients thing, and now I've got another 120 ancients that are winging their way.
Was that the Victrix deal? You came through. Did you come through my my referral? Oh, good, because I got notification that somebody had bought using my referral, so I'll get a whole load of loyalty points for that.
I don't know whose referral I ended up using because I think I bought using yours because I got some transfers, but. The main order, I had to use. I basically emailed it to Hayley and then used her phone to order it and then gave her some money. So I could get it, but I'm so confused about those. Is Dyson Decks?
Dyson Decks.
I got bolt action on there.
Oh, that was the shop, wasn't it? That was one of the tubers, one of the YouTubers recommended it. Yeah, I remember that. I can't remember who it was now. I did.
They've got there's Black Seas.
Legion. Oh, okay.
They've got Rubicon on here.
Out of stock.
Yeah, I think that sale's been going for a while. Yeah.
Liberty.
War Machine.
Perry's. Oh, look, none of the black powder stuff's on sale.
No, it's only bolt action stuff. I think they're selling. Yeah.
Look at that. There's some beautiful Perry's right there. La Haye sets there. Oh, if you're 30% that, I'm not kidding you right now. If that La Haye Sunset was 30% off, I'd be on that.
You can get that on Warlords at the moment, can't you? I think Warlords are doing some deal on that.
No, they're not.
Here you go, Ste. This shop has got. I know you like your cricks for War Machine. They've got the Black Ogre and Smog Belchers. These look like pirate ogres that have got actual cannons for guns. They've knocked them down. Retail price 45 quid. They're selling them for 25.
That is quite good.
Cool. There you go. Look, sort of big ogres actually just using cannons.
Cannons.
Friggin' hell.
Swashbuckling ogres, they are, mate.
That looks brilliant. I love that. Eddie Pennington, hiya mate. He says Dyson Decks have a brilliant fast return on orders. There you go. I hope so because I did order something. Actually, that's true.
I've never heard. I might have to.
I ordered something from them on their Black Powder sale. I think I did in the end. God.
I wonder if North Star I don't think are doing anything this year.
No, I'm not. The North Star did a 1-day sale selling 1812 figures for the new Muskets and Tomahawk supplement that's due out fairly soon.
Yeah.
Which I remember
but that was it, as far as I've seen for them. Talking about sprue sales, I just have to ask you about this one. So I bought. This is Miniature. What is it called? Miniature Wargaming magazine, which is a really old magazine for those of you who've been around the hobby. It's been revamped and what have you. So I picked this up, and it had a free sprue on it. So this thing, it's one night. I don't know what size it is. Look at it, bloody enormous thing. There's a real horse. There's a real horse. Look at that.
That looks like 148.
It's
enormous.
enormous.
148.
It seems to be for something called argument. The Last Argument of Kings.
Parabellum. The Conquest. The Last Argument of Kings.
I don't know. I've no idea, mate.
Yeah, it's they are really big miniatures. My mate, who I game against regularly, has picked it up, and they are very chunky miniatures. It looks quite a cool game. Some interesting.
So my question is, how much would you say that sprue for one night would be?
I know the answer to this, so I'll see what the other. Do you know what the answer is?
What one night? Yeah.
Yeah. One night at this scale.
How many?
So it's got lots of options, lots of different bits. Yeah.
12 quid.
Yeah, it's between 12 and 15 quid.
Bloody hell, you're dead right. It's 12 quid. 12 quid. That's what it says. Worth 12 quid. And I'm thinking, 12 quid for that?
You know why? But you know why, don't you? Yeah, but you know why? Because it's all CAD designed, mate. It's all CAD designed. It's there for your convenience.
Bloody hell. It's 12 quid for a sprue of some oversized knight that I'm never going to... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so intriguing this. So for those old timers like me, this magazine brings back memories because it's one of the first wargaming magazines I ever had, and it pretty much went out of business, I think. And I bought it again because I thought, just for old time's sake. But it is weird. It's talk about. I mean, we were talking about all different periods you must do. This has got everything from high fantasy, real science fiction, through to the Rio Grande campaign. It's just such an eclectic mix of periods in here. It's really, really weird. There's a. And I just thought it's an odd thing to do, because I think part of my problem with magazines these days is that I want them to just focus on a few periods rather than seem to cover every single period under the sun. This one just seems to cover everything. It's just weird. It's got a colonial mini campaign fighting slavers. It's got an ACW campaign. It's got Oathmark. It's got this Last Arguments of Kings scenarios. It's very odd. Very odd. Anyway, I don't know whether I'll bother anymore. Very. Sorry, I just a little mini rant there. Just a mini rant.
That's just reminded me. I remember years ago, one of the very first sort of non-White Dwarf gaming magazines that I bought in the 90s. There was about 20 pages dedicated to the Jacobite Rebellion. And I thought, quite obscure for a gaming period. But a large portion of the magazine was all about Jacobite Rebellion.
Interesting.
Different, isn't it?
That's an interesting period. I've never gamed it, but it's an interesting period. I saw somebody's doing a Kickstarter on that as well. I thought no, I'm not going to do that. It's another period I'm not going to touch.
It is one for you, right? Okay, we keep going on about wargaming, don't we? Yeah, so we're saying like periods and stuff. What about just factions? So like you could have like modern stuff of like I've seen, police versus bank robbers and stuff, like sort of games and bits and bobs like that. Or you've got like Robin Hood and stuff like that, Sheriff of Nottingham, and not necessarily armies per se. Or is that why you game? Is it armies, or would you consider doing different like smaller faction sort of games? So like specialists. So like I've seen ones where you've seen Brexit. There was a board game on Brexit. No, a miniature game on Brexit at Salute. Did you see that when you went?
No.
Did you not see it?
I don't remember that one. No.
It was based in Calais. Like the border crossing, and like the whole objective of the game is the protesters had to get their stop all. What was it? The protesters had to stop. It wasn't the immigrants. It was something else. It was like the border force from doing their job or something stupid like that. Honest to God, Google it and check it. It's actually quite a cool little game, and they've made a bespoke board for it.
Do you know?
Honest to God, I'm not pulling your leg.
I have to say, I'm a bit old-fashioned. I think these sort of things, just you are heading into so many problems. I saw one of the Facebook pages, and I can't remember which one it was now, exploded twice last week, with people getting all hot under the collar about something which was somebody put up a Kickstarter of some figure of Trump in chains. And that just got just literally exploded. They had to shut it down. Then people were complaining about, this isn't a wargaming site, why are you doing all this, and blah blah blah. And the admins tried to protect it and said, it's a Kickstarter, it's a figure, that's what we're here for, whether we, whatever. And they kind of calmed it down. And then somebody then put up, I have to say, one of the best things I've ever seen, which was an orc warrior with a standard with a cartoon of Trump on it in a real sort of orky kind of way. And he said, this is my standard bearer. It instills stubbornness and the right to ignore one dice roll a game or something like that. And it was just really, really well done. And again, this just whole thing just erupted into, it's like, and I just think anything that touches on politics, the Brexit thing, the Trump stuff in wargaming just doesn't, I just don't want to see it, frankly. It just explodes into the whole that's not what I come to play with little toy soldiers. I don't want real life getting in the way of that.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I just found it fascinating. I just thought, who would think to do that? But they were the guys that did it they come out and they said, they're pro Remain. They were all the people who actually did it. They didn't believe in Brexit, but it's fair enough if they want to do it. They did it. It looked actually quite good. I'm not going to lie. You should Google it after we've watched the show and just look at the board. The board itself looks really cool. But it's got the NHS. Do you know that bus on it? They put the bus. And they just took the piss out of Boris Johnson and stuff like that. It was quite funny.
I don't know. It just seems to me that kind of thing is just it's funny, but really in gaming, no. Let's go back to proper stupidity of gaming. Because it's a very easy way to lose.
Like that. That's quite cool.
Yeah, but that's fantasy, isn't it? Anything politics is a very easy way of losing a very good friend very quickly, in my experience. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it over the tabletop. It's just not, no, not right. But yeah, my humble opinion. But I do think some of that stuff, there's some interesting, I don't know, it's where do you start and stop on some of that sort of stuff? I mean, I was a bit shocked by this magazine talking about an anti-slavery kind of campaign, which I sort of think is interesting. It was an interesting sort of mission to stop slavers from doing one thing to another. But is that right? Should we be doing that sort of thing? But I think then again, you think about some of those colonial war battles. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too deep.
Yeah, but you say that, but then you've got like Russian penal squads German penal squads or Russian conscripts that just get running forward to the enemy with no weapon, and if they turn back they get blown their head off by a commissar.
For me, I think it's like a conscious, not a disconnect, but sort of a detaching yourself from sort of the I don't know. I'm trying to think of the words to explain it.
You turn into wargaming when you play it. You're not.
Yeah, we're playing with toys. We're playing with toy soldiers. And I think, and then I know that you immerse yourself in the background and the history of the period. But you don't want to do that to the detriment of your game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, you said the key thing there, Steve. A game. A game.
Yeah.
It's a game.
For me, that's the one thing you've always got to keep your mind on. Is it is a game.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's easy just
It's
to.
a form of entertainment, isn't it? Take it too serious.
I feel like we're heading down a rabbit warren already on this. So where were we with periods? Let's go back to that again. That's safe bet. So I think we got 5, haven't we? So we got sort of Napoleonics, sort of Punic Wars, World War II. Did we settle on? Was it Eastern Front or
Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
And then American Revolution, didn't we?
Did we go American Revolution? I mean, I love American Revolution, but I'm not sure that's
I'm not sure which one you have to do before you die.
Exactly. I'm not sure it is. I mean, I think it's a fascinating period, but I wouldn't necessarily put it there. So what would be the 5th?
Vikings, I suppose. Dark Ages?
Oh, we did say Dark Ages.
I was to say Vikings.
Yeah, we did say that, didn't we? Yeah. I think that's...
We did.
I think that's a good shout.
Duncan FX has got one. He's got one. And it's not a period. Dwarves.
Dwarves!
Everyone's got to do dwarves at some point.
Need I say more?
Yeah, true.
Need I say more? Oh, my dwarves. Oh, yeah,
I've done some dwarves recently. Did some more the other day. Did some crossbowmen. They're in my booty pack from what was it, Rapier or whatever they were. Reaper games, wasn't it? They sent us those box sets. They were, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's how I've managed to bulk out these guys, because Jim sent this stuff, which is awesome. So that's how I'm getting my.
I don't have painted a single dwarf in my life.
Oh, Steve, there's a challenge for you. There's a challenge, Steve.
I really haven't. Apart from collecting an Empire army for Warhammer Fantasy Battle, I've never really strayed that far into sort of that element of fantasy.
No, you played the human race in fantasy.
I did. I mean, back in the day, I didn't even have a dwarf team in Blood Bowl either.
Yeah.
Wait. The squats count.
Yeah, they're just space dwarves.
Yeah.
So I painted a squad of before they got squatted. I painted a squad of 10 for original Rogue Trader. Many years ago. So I've painted space dwarfs, not fantasy dwarfs.
That's the same thing. It's fine. It's fine.
There's a good shout here from Little Legion. Just before we go, Little Legion's come up with a nice one. Said, everybody should paint up a dragon. There you go.
Yes.
Good call.
I
think it's a good call.
Yeah.
We can agree on something.
The smile dragon. The smile dragon done by Alan and Michael Perry.
Although I do find those big models quite intimidating. I have to say, I look at them and go, I've got an undead giant back there on the shelf, which I'm got to have a go at some point.
Cool. It's called an airbrush. Get an airbrush.
I don't have one of those, mate. I'm old school. Don't do it.
The other night I used airbrush paints to paint bases with.
Yeah, nice thin down
actually with a paintbrush. Yeah, it worked really, really well.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Is that to go underneath your vehicles?
Let's get it in, didn't it?
It was to go underneath that French artillery piece. So yes, it was a good piece of basing.
There we go. There we go.
On that shocking note, guys, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks very much for joining us, guys.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Well, I've got 2 new subs in that.